It is time for some Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night. Oh my gosh, what day of the week it is. It's time for some Saturday night live side splits and hip mobility training. We do this every single day from Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started 1 minute ago. And we do this every day to practice the number one most important quality, consistency. All right, doesn't matter what you're doing, doesn't matter what plan you have. If you can't have consistency following that plan, that is not the best plan for you. So what we're building here is, some physical movement. We're going to give you some tools to help you get better at moving, and hopefully we're going to instill some principles about consistency along the way. All right? This show is designed to be very doable many times a week. I do this live 9 days a week, and I'm often a little bit sore. But for you guys at home, you don't have to show up every single day, and you can do a little bit 3, 4 times a week. That'll be plenty. Cool. All right, that's enough rambling. I give it a couple of seconds for people to start popping in and get notified. Let's get into our side split training. First thing we're going to do is warm up. We are doing some hip cars. Hip cars stands for controlled articulated rotations. And what that basically means is we are taking our legs, we're throwing them all over the place. We're doing crazy looking things, trying to get to the maximum depth in each of our ranges of motion, and try to get a little stronger along the way. All right. So we're going to start by bringing this knee up as high as we can. We're going to open up that open up that leg out to the side. The hip actually doesn't want to be moving very much. From here, lift that knee a little bit higher, open that leg a little wider, and we're going to focus on rotating. From the front, it's going to look like the ankle is hiding behind the knee. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. The ankle is horizontal, the knee is horizontal with it. From there, we're going to rotate that leg. We're going to bring the knee down and lift that ankle up as high as we can. Your hamstrings might feel a little bit of a cramp. When that happens, straighten out that leg for a second and bring the leg down and back right behind you. All right?
Your butt is connected to YouTube.
Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Is YouTube audio coming in at all? If not, I'm going to check it again and see. No, it says sound core. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Is there YouTube audio? I got audio over on TikTok. Thank you, Maria. And I'm not sure.
That's good now.
Audio is good. Good vibes forever. Okay, awesome. Great. Sorry about that. Where are we? Are we just doing reps now? Did I explain enough?
No, it's not. It's not. It's okay if you yell, we hear.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to yell very loud for YouTube. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. We're doing hip cars. High knee. Open up that leg. Rotate the ankle up. Bring the leg down and back. When we go down and back, we're flexing the hamstrings, the glutes. We're feeling a stretch right here in the front, in that hip flexor. That's one rep. All right? We're going to do 10 of these. On the left, 10 on the right. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two. I am doing much better balance-wise than this morning. That's good. Back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's four. These are not supposed to be easy. So if you're struggling a little bit, that is okay. These are about pushing past your weaknesses and turning them into things that are not weaknesses. And then you get further, and then you find some more weaknesses. And then you get stronger there too. So if you're struggling a little bit, that's okay. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 7. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 8. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 9. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 10 hip cars on the left leg. We're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. I do YouTube. There's another YouTube running simultaneously. This one right here is TikTok, and that one over here is YouTube. The username is the same if you want to check that out. Next, we're going to do the other side. Let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. tight. Let's go, high knee. Lift that knee as high as you can. Lift a little higher, lift a little higher, lift a little higher. Open it up. Point that knee out that away. Rotate the ankle so that the ankle is hidden behind the knee. Then keep on rotating. Rotate some more, rotate some more, rotate some more. Lift that ankle up as high as you can. Oof. And then bring the leg down and back. All right? When you bring the leg down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front. That is 1 rep. We're doing 10. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2. High knee. Open. Really focus on contracting those muscles. 3. But don't overdo it because we got to do 10 of these. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 4, I think. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. Oh man, if your hamstrings are feeling crazy, like they're gonna cramp up, that's a good sign you're working really hard. That's actually what we want. All right. We're trying to build strength in those crazy positions so you have more control and you have more ability in those positions. Cool? All right. We're going to move on into some reverse hip curls. Basically the same exact motions, but we're going to go in reverse. The first thing we're going to do, instead of ending with the leg down and back, we're starting with the leg down and back. All right? Again, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front. And I don't want you to get too excited because it's the first thing you go, and start throwing that leg way far back over there. All right? What I want you to do is take it nice and slow and gentle. Focus on the hamstrings, the glutes, that hip right here. Try not to put a whole bunch of pressure in your low back. Try to keep your core nice and tight and protect that low back. All right? Let's go. Down and back. Lift the leg to the side. Try to get to that horizontal position. Rotate the ankle up, knee down, knee up, ankle down. Bring the knee forward. We're doing 10 of these. We'll count that first one. We're doing 9 more. Let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 3. I'm going to do the rest facing you so it's a little easier to mirror. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, forward, knee. That's 4. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 5. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. And 6. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 7. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 8. 2 more. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 9. Last one. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. Oh, I lost balance. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We're done with 3 of our 4 hip curls. We got 1 last hip to do. Let's get ready to go. If your hips are feeling real tired, if the leg that was balancing is like super tense right now because you were flopping all over the place and your body was trying to balance you, and you're like, oh, ugh. Shake out your body. Do a little dance. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And let's get ready to go. Stand nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. Let's begin. Bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel the stretch right here. Whew. Lift that leg to the side. Rotate. Bring the ankle up. Bring the ankle down. Lift that knee. Bring the knee forward. That's 1. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 5. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 6. 4 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Ooh, knee. 8. Almost lost balance there. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down, knee, that's 9, last one, back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 10. Woo! Those are our hip cars. That is the first of our warm-up exercises. And we're going to move right on into warm-up exercise number 2. It's called the elephant walk. It's a little bit more chill than what we just did. It'll give us a second to catch our breaths. So what I want you to do is fold at the hips and try to bring your belly button down towards the ground. All right? From here, chill, breathe, relax. Get lazy, flop over. Try your best to just relax and enjoy. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right, we're going to bend one knee, we're going to straighten out the other leg, we're going to keep on folding that belly button down towards the ground, and we're going to switch the legs that are bent. We're going to keep switching back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and keep going back and forth and back and forth. You should be feeling some tingly, switching, stretching in the hamstrings. You might also be feeling a little bit up in the glutes. That is probably because your hamstrings sort of connect just below and behind the kneecaps, and they go all the way into the bottom of your pelvis. When you are folded forward like this, your butt-ish area right here, that's pretty much where the bottom of your pelvis is, right? So it's highly likely you're just feeling more of a hamstring stretch. It just seems like your butt. All right. Next, when these have started feeling a little bit more comfortable, I want you to focus on folding just a little bit deeper and keep going. 5 more. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our elephant walks. We're going to pop into a little bit of a squat and then come back up into standing. Whew, that's our second warm-up exercise. We're going to move right on into warm-up exercise number 3. We're going to do some thoracic rotations. If you were standing, your thoracic spine, actually, you don't have to be standing. Your thoracic spine is between your neck and your low back. It's pretty much this chunk of your spine. All right? Anytime you twist, you rotate, you lean to the left, lean to the right, fold, arch your back, bring that chest out. That should be coming mostly from the thoracic spine. A lot of us spend a lot of time in a position that kind of looks like this, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, of course, but sometimes that causes the back muscles to get kind of stuck, and we're going to try and loosen those up right now. All right, this is called the thoracic rotation. What I want you to do is get back into the position we were just in. One leg is bent, one leg is straight or folded forward. All right. From here, we're going to take the bent arm. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push against that leg. We're going to open up our chest and our back. I want you to right now stick your other hand up into the air. I want you to rotate your neck to look at the hand. I want you to breathe. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Whew. That is 1 rep. Try to reach that hand over your shoulder. Keep on looking at that hand if you can. And when you're ready, come on back. That is 1 rep on one side. We got to finish with the other side, right? We're switching. This leg is now bent. This leg is straight. We're taking this hand, we're reaching across to the straight leg, and we're going to open up again. Look at the hand, neck is rotated. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is 1 rep. I talk fast, that does not mean you have to move fast. I try to explain a lot so people who come in for the first time can jump right in and get with our programming. But that does not mean you have to move fast. Take your time, breathe. Inhale, exhale twice if you want. Reach a little bit further. If you're breathing too much, slow it down. And let's continue with rep number 2. Leg is bent, leg is straight. Bent arm, straight leg. Open, 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 open. Look at the hand. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is 2. Other side. 2. On the weekends, we do this show twice a day, once at 9 a.m. and once at 9 p.m. This is the 9 p.m. show. We're back to number 3. All right, other side. And this morning, I was so stiff I could not move because I jumped out of bed and got right into the show. But I have been hanging out with family, and I am feeling pretty good today. So my back seems like it's rotating pretty well. That is 4. Whew. I'm gonna explain one last time on number 5 because it's our last rep. Let's go. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. Arm from the bent leg side, which is across to the straight leg. We're pushing against that shin to open up our bodies. Look at the hand, neck is rotated. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is 5. Other side. 5. Whew. That is some thoracic rotation. If this is your first time sort of rotating, twisting, trying to reach back behind you, you might have a little bit of almost tenderness in your spine. Add a little bit of movement, add a little bit of dance, work that body roll, and try to feel a little bit better about it. Cool. We're going to move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. It is called the Cossack switch. All right, I'm going to scoot back a little bit so you can see it. I'm going to demonstrate. You don't have to jump in right away. Next, what we are doing looks like this. We're going to drop into a deep squat on one leg and extend the other leg out as if we're doing something like a side split. All right, this is our starting position. We're going to scoot our butts over to the other side. Boom. Hang out here, try and get a little bit lower, and then we're going to come back. Boom. That is 1 rep. For most of us, our ankles, our knees, our hips are not going to be quite ready for that, so let's warm up those first. What I want you to do is try to pop into a little bit of a squat, all right? So you're joining back in. If you're down here and your heels are off the ground, that is perfect. It's totally fine. Try to bring your knees down towards your toes. Try to bring your chest down towards your knees. We're trying to fold at all these places, okay? From here, we're just going to breathe. Chill and relax. Next, I want you to add a little tiny bit of movement if you find it comfortable. All right? I want you to just push your knee forward a little bit, pull your knee back, push the knee forward, pull the knee back, do a little shimmy, lean to the left, lean to the right, push out one leg, push out the other, bring it back in, have some fun with the movement. All right? What we're trying to do is get our ankles, our knees, our hips ready for some more intense movement, and trying to have some fun while we do it. Next, we're probably about ready to get into some Cossack switches. All right, let's go. I'm going to scoot way back over here so that you can see my whole body without it getting cut off in the cameras. And what I want you to do is stick your hands straight down into the ground. I want you to extend one leg out to the side. It helps if your heel is down and your toes are kind of pointing up for now. Next, drop this heel down to the ground. That will help you stay a little bit more stable because we're going to be moving from side to side. All right? So in general, try to keep your heels down. Next, if you're newer to the show, you're less flexible, come into the deepest squat you can. It's okay if it's a little higher up. If you are a little bit more flexible, you can get a little bit deeper, great. Get as deep as you can, all right? Next, we're moving our butts over that way. So do what you can, get yourself over. If you're a little bit higher off the ground, you can get over, great. If you are a little lower and you need some help, put your hands down on the ground, give yourself a little assistance, crawl your way over and get to the other side. If that is, you're somewhere in between, you're not quite low enough, you're also not quite tall enough to do both, feel free to use something to elevate your hands to help you get over. All right, and we're back. That is 1 rep. We're doing 10 of these in total, so we'll count that first one. We're doing 9 more. All right, scoot your butt over that way. Whee! Boom. Use your hands if you need to. You probably should, especially for the first rep. That's 2. Come on, keep going. Come on across. That's 3. Come on back. That's 4. That's still 3. We just came back. If you find that you don't need your hands, you got the balance figured out, you're figuring this out real good, you get it strong, that's 4. Then you can stop using your hands. All right? And 5. At this point, if you're feeling a little bit of pressure on the inside of your knee, because this transition from side to side is kind of beating you up a little bit, you can change it up. All right? We got variations. What I want you to try is, instead of just scooting your butt as low as you can across, I want you to try and come up a little bit, come across, and then sit back, down, and get nice and deep. All right? So again, it's up, across, down. I think this is number 6. Let's do another one. Up, across, down. That's 7. Up, across, down. I think this is still 7 because we just came back. We got 3 more. I'm struggling to count today. What's going on? Okay. Keep going. Across and down. Across and down. That's 8. and 9. And we got one last final variation. If you're ready for it, you can just power through this squatting leg. Boom! Come up into standing. Have your legs nice and wide. Slowly come on down on the other side. Chill here for a second. Go boom! Come on back up. That is our last warm-up exercise. Our Cossack switches, squats, and somewhere slidey in between things. All right? Whew. If you're ready, it's time to move on to the meat of our show. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. What we did so far was get our heart pumping, our blood racing, and get our joints, our muscles warmed up so that we can have a really effective stretch. All right. The first stretch that we're going to get into is a hamstring stretch. I recommend everybody at home grab a little bit of padding for your knee. Where's my pad? What's going on? I have some foam gym flooring from Costco, my favorite store. And that's all you need to get started. If you don't have something special for gym stuff, you don't need anything special at all. All right. Got an old flip flop? Stick it under your knee. Got old sneakers you don't care about? Stick it under your knee. If you have a stuffed animal that has been ripped up by the dog and has very little enjoyable stuffed animal life left, stick it under your knee. Old towels, dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee. All right. We don't need anything fancy, just a little bit of padding. I need to sneeze. Oh gosh. Is that one? Wow, I very rarely have one sneeze. Anyways, let's get into the stretch. I want you to kneel on your foam, on your knee padding. And I want you to extend one leg out in front of you. All right? We're going to focus on bringing the belly button down to that thigh. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. I want this to be almost straight up and down for now. And I want this leg to be just in front. I don't want anything that looks like this. All right? If you're trying to get into a front split, you're working too hard. You're going to be stretching too many muscles out at the same time. It's going to be hard to focus on the one that we care about right now. That is the hamstring. All right? So pull it together. Bring everything in nice and close, and let's focus on folding our belly button down to the thigh. All right? Whee! Cool. When you feel like you got stuck, feel free to stop and pause and breathe. All right? Once you're here, just take a nice big inhale. Exhale slowly and let your body drape over that leg. Whew. You might drop into a slightly deeper stretch. Great. Relax. All right? From here, I want you to do a little bit of a knee bend. And I want you to focus on bringing your belly button down to your thigh. Bring your chest down to your knee if you can. All right? And I want you to straighten out the leg again. I want you to bring the knee back up. Bring your chest down to that knee, and then straighten out that leg again. And then keep going. And keep going. And do a couple more of these. And we're ready to move on. Now, what we're going to do, I call the inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to take this huge breath into our lungs. We're going to slowly push out all the air. We're going to exhale it. And the whole time that we're exhaling, I want you to focus on bringing the belly button down to the thighs. All right? Let's go. Inhale. Big inhale. Exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Woo! That is a deeper stretch. We're going to chill here for a second. Inhale. Exhale. Try to drape that body over that leg. And then we're going to do a little bit of that knee bending again. Bring your chest to that knee. Straighten it back out. Bring your chest to that knee. Straighten it back out. Bring your chest to that knee. Straighten it back out. One more. And once you're back, inhale. Exhale and drape that body over that leg. Now, we're going to do one last inhale, exhale, fold. All right, remember that's the big inhale, slow exhale, and folding the belly button down a little bit deeper. Let's go. Big inhale. Exhale and fold. Woo! That is our setup. If your hamstring is feeling crazy tight right now, feel free to add a couple more knee bends. Straighten it out, knee bend, straighten it out, knee bend, straighten it out. And we're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. All right, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. That is our hamstring stretch. We're going to move on to the other leg. All right? Let's go. Bring your knees together. Stand up nice and straight for a hot second. Extend one leg out in front. Fold your belly button down to that thigh. Whew. Here we go. This is our starting position. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Whew. Feel that stretch in your hamstring get a little bit more intense. Breathe. And then we're going to do the knee bend stuff, all right? Bend that knee. Bring your chest and belly button down to that leg. Straighten it back out. Again. Bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. Feel that light stretch. It shouldn't be super crazy intense. Just a little bit for now. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, exhale, fold. All right, that's the big inhale. Slow exhale while we fold forward. Let's do it. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Woo! That is part number one. When you're here in that deeper stretch, if you need it, do a couple more knee bends. Bring your chest down to that thigh. Straighten it back out. Knee, chest, knee. Straighten, bend, straighten, bend is probably a more accurate description of what's happening. And keep on folding. All right? We're ready for one more inhale, exhale, fold. Are you ready? Hey, I'm in the middle of a show. You're distracting me. We've talked about this, doggo. We've talked about this. During the show, you don't distract us. You can't lick my ankle and my face. That's not okay. We got show. Shoot. Go that way. Face. There we go. All right. Awesome. Sorry for the interruption. I hope you enjoyed the show. And let's continue. We're going to do the inhale, exhale, fold. Round two. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down. Down. One last time. Bend the knee. Straighten it out. 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 You don't have to move explosively. You don't even have to move fast. Take it as slow as you'd like. That movement helps your leg muscles to relax. It helps you to fold forward a little bit more. All right? 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings, relax your glutes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Did you just wake up from a nap? What are you doing? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. This is gonna hurt some people's feelings on the live, but I have to ignore him for the rest of the show for him to remember that we trained him not to jump into the show. He's been really good for like several weeks, and usually he just kind of like does his own thing, walks past, and wants to exit the door or exit the room. But I don't know. He's really excited to see me today. All right, let's continue with our second stretch. All right, what we're going to do is called the butterfly stretch. And what we're going to do is going to be something like this. We're going to rest our butt, our mid-back, our shoulders, our head up against the wall. We're going to bring our feet together. We're going to pull our feet in. All right? It's going to look a little bit like this. This is the butterfly stretch. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. Whew. What I want you to do is to try one main thing. Bring your knees down into the ground. All right? How you would do this is by contracting your outer thigh muscles and your glutes the best that you can. And if you're new to this show and you're like, what muscles? How does that work? What the heck? Just focus on feeling more of a stretch here in the groin and seeing if your knees go down just a little bit. All right? Next, once you've tried that, once you've felt the muscles working, try to bring your knees down into the ground, we're ready to add some more intensity. We're going to take our hands, we're going to push down just inside the knee. We're going to push our legs down towards the ground. All right. When you do this, the back of your head, your shoulders should also push into the wall. So if you're feeling that pressure, that's normal. From here, we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. On your exhales, as you breathe, I want you to see if you can apply a little bit more pressure every time you exhale. Go. 30 seconds. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Push a little further. 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 If you're breathing too fast, you're hyperventilating. Slow it down. You don't have to keep up with me. If I'm not going fast enough, you want to breathe in faster, feel free to do that too. All right, 21, maybe 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Let your hands go. Whew. This one's real fast compared to some of the other ones that we've been doing. I know. If your legs come up a little bit, that's absolutely fine. Chill, relax, and if you can, I want you to flap the wings of this butterfly. Remember, this is the butterfly stretch. If your legs are struggling to lift up and down, feel free to grab that knee and give it a light shake. All right? Do the same on the other side. Light shake. Whee! When you're shaking out your legs, it should be a little bit easier to move. And when you're flapping the legs like this and it's looking like you're about to take off the ground, you're probably good to move on into stretch number 3. Let's go! We are moving on into some standing pancake. All right? It looks a little bit like this. We're opening up our legs, decent wide. Doesn't have to be crazy. But if you are feeling a painful sensation right here, a pinching sensation right here in the hips, where your thigh bone touches your pelvis, then you've gone too far. Bring your legs back in just a little bit. All right. Once that sensation is gone, you can do some movement here without feeling pain in the hips. Then we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. All right. Once you are here, what we want to do is keep going. that's the whole entire stretch. It's us folding to the ground. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. We get to that horizontal position with our body, and then we keep going. Until our bodies go flat. It is a really hard stretch. So, what I want you to focus on is all the things that gravity will help make the most of, including trying to keep this body nice and horizontal. All right? If you're ready for more, extend your arms past your ears so that your biceps are by your ears. And next time you inhale, exhale, try to relax, and you'll feel that stretch get a little bit more intense. All right? If you're ready for more, if you're looking for something harder, feel free to hold something in your hands. I recommend probably starting with something a little lighter than this. And do the same thing. Inhale, exhale, and see if you can sink just a little bit deeper into the stretch. If your face is feeling like it's way too close to the ground, you're like, this is kind of scary, what you can do is stick your butt back a little bit and stick your arms out in front to help counterbalance. That will pull your chest up a little higher and it will make the stretch more intense. One last detail. At this point, you might notice you might be able to slip your legs a little bit wider now and not feel any weird hip pain. If that is you and you're ready to go a little deeper, feel free to do so. Cool? Those are all the tips. We're folding, we're bringing the belly button down. Extend the arms to make it harder. Stick your butt back and arms forward to make it even harder. That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26. Oh my gosh, this chair is so long. 25, 24. It's easier if I flip it around. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, no, I distracted the dog, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Whew, that is our pancake stretch. If your legs are feeling a little crazy right now and you don't want to move, I recommend you try to wiggle your toes and your heels and 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 your toes and your heels in towards the center of your body. When you get here, you're going to look a little bit like this, all hunched over. Try and pop into a little tiny bit of a squat, stick your butt down, push off those thighs, come back into standing, and that is our standing pancake. If you did that right, you're going to feel the stretch in two main places. One is your inner thighs, right? They were getting stretched while your legs were wide, and then because you were hanging out here, they're also contracting to keep you from getting any deeper. So that's probably why you had to wiggle your toes and your heels in, because your legs didn't want to do any of that pulling work, right? The other place you're going to be feeling it is your hamstring, all right? Anytime you fall forward, where your hips come out that way, you're going to... Did you find some poison ivy today? You're looking a little itchy, buddy. Okay, anytime you fall forward, like so, when your hips are going forward, you're going to feel a hamstring stretch, all right? That is the two places you're going to feel the most intense stretch. And I don't think we need to dwell on that any further. Let's move on to stretch number 4. We had the option between the pigeon and the figure 4. I'm pretty sure we did pigeon this morning, so that means we're doing some more pigeon tonight. All right? The pigeon and the figure 4 have the same fundamentals. We're taking one leg, we're crossing over to the other side of our body. We're grabbing that leg, we're bringing it up to our belly button, we're bringing our belly button down to that leg, and we're getting into this general position. All right? From here, we want to focus on feeling a stretch here in the side of our hip. This is a glute muscle. And that's basically it. For the pigeon, what we're going to do is take this position that we're here in and take it to the floor. All right? Boom. When the center line of your body, so between your eyes down to your belly button, folds forward over this leg, over the center of this leg, so between the knee and the ankle, we are in a pigeon stretch. Cool? That's it. That's all there is to it. There's some minor details we can add to make the stretch a little bit more intense. This leg right here can hang out off to the sides. You don't have to worry about it. But you can make it look more like a yoga position pigeon and do something that looks like this. You can extend one leg back behind you. All right? For a lot of people, this might be a little bit challenging of a position, so I'm going to give you some quick tips. One, if you're trying to stand up like this, you're going to put a whole bunch of pressure on your hip, on your knee, and it's going to be a little less comfortable, right? One quick fix is just lay down. When you're folded forward, there's going to be less pressure on your hip, and therefore less pressure on your knee, and that might help a lot. If you are finding that you can't fold forward very much because you're quite tight in the back area, in the legs, then we got another tip for you, right? If you elevate the front leg, it's going to elevate the hips as well. When your hips are higher, this back leg is going to have way more space to get underneath, and it'll be way easier to maintain this upright position. Cool? Those are 2 tips. Elevate the front leg or lay down. When you're ready, and in position, let's begin. This leg is across the body, right? We're trying to get the middle line of our body down to that midpoint between the knee and the ankle. And if you can, extend that leg back behind you. Fold, 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 fold. I want you to imagine you are made of jello. I want you to, on every exhale, deflate like a balloon and let out all of the air in your lungs and sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. That's it. That's the whole thing. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. You might be feeling this quite a bit in your hamstrings because we did quite a bit of hamstring stretching. If you're feeling like it's a little too easy, you can push your foot towards your face. That's going to make the hamstring stretch way more crazy, even if you only move like half a centimeter. All right? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If this stretch is way too intense, way too hard, feel free to let your foot slide closer to your groin area. That'll make the stretch a lot easier. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. But, don't make it easy all the time. Keep it challenging. 5, 4, 3, 2, keep breathing, last breath, 1, 0. That is pigeon on one side. We got one more leg to do. Let's go. Once again, we'll bring our leg across the body. We're going to extend one leg back behind us. We're going to fold our belly button and our middle line of the body down to that midpoint between the knees and the ankles. You guys will have all sorts of different leg bone lengths, so this might not be a perfect science. All right. If you want to lean a little bit to the right, you want to lean a little bit more to the left, feel free to do so. Let's go. 30 seconds. Come on down. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Relax. Turn yourself into jello. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Experiment with straightening out your back and seeing how that leverage feels on your glutes, on your back. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and when that gets tiring, you can drop back down. 10, 9, 8, start it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. We are done with 4 of our 5 stretches. All we got left is the side splits, but we do the side splits a little bit different. We're doing 3 rounds of 30 seconds of the side splits. If you've never done one before, don't worry. We're going to break it down into little pieces, and you can pause, you can stop, you can not make any more progress whenever you feel like it. All right? So let's get ready to get into that. But first, I should probably remind you that this is a 60-minute-ish live side split stretching and hip mobility show. We do this every single day to practice the #1 most important quality, consistency. We do this to build a little bit of community. We build this to make the suffering that we're doing right now a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that it's easier to stay consistent. So if you like that stuff, hip mobility, side splits, helping you practice a little bit of consistency, make sure to keep coming back. We're live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're not in the Eastern Time Zone, we started 44 minutes ago, and that is our same time every single day. But on the weekends, so right now, on the weekends, we have bonus shows at 9 a.m. Eastern, which means we got another show in like 11 hours and 15 minutes. Feel free to come back to that tomorrow morning, all right? Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, all those cool things, like, thumbs up, I don't know, whatever. We're going to move on into our final stretch, the side splits. What I want you to do is come on back into standing, rest your butt against the wall real quick, all right? Once you're here, I want you to take one step in front of the wall, 8 to 12 inches, all right? Like 1 foot-sized step in front, not one huge step, one tiny, 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 small step in front. From here, we're going to open up our legs nice and wide. If, again, you're feeling pain, pinching in the hips, you've gone too far, stop, bring your legs in together, make sure there's no more pain, and then we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. If you can, stick your hands down on the ground. If you cannot, or if you don't want to, feel free to elevate your hands. I got 2 different size stools. I don't need the blue stool, but this is what we're using it for. A little bit of hand support. If you need a little bit more assistance, you can use a chair. Might be a little bit higher, and that's totally okay. All right, as long as it's stable, as long as it doesn't collapse underneath you, is good to go. From here, I want you to try your best to widen your legs a little bit deeper. All right, if you can go crazy deep, awesome. Take that range. Next, we're going to rotate our legs. This is the most important part of the whole entire stretch. So make sure you do this one. All right. We're going to rotate our legs so that our feet are going from flat to boom. Toes pointing up, heels down. Knees pointing up. And we got to do both sides. Boom. Knees up, toes up, heels down. The reason why we do this is we rotate the thigh bones so that they never smash into our hips again. And this lets us go way deep in our stretch. All right. When you're here, you're already in a side split. Once your legs are rotated, you're in a side split. All right. So it's your first time. Congratulations. Now all that's holding you back is the length of your muscles and how deep you can go. Let's do this. I want you to take a nice big breath in And I want you to slowly exhale and see if you can sink a little bit deeper, just automatically. Whew. If you can't, you didn't move anywhere, that's totally fine. All right. See if you can do a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, and see if you can just push a tiny bit deeper into your stretch. From here, see if you can bring your hand support back towards your hips. If you are already on the floor, walk your hand towards your hips and see if you can sit your butt almost onto the wall behind you, right? Remember how we started each 12 inches in front of the wall? Now we're putting it to work from here. What I want you to do is chill and I want you to breathe, all right? Right now, if the top of your head is pointing up and your knees are also pointing up, chances are you are in a side split position and you can relax some muscles. If your feet are flexed and working real hard, relax them. Relax your toes, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes, your low back. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, do a little dance, and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Whew. And sit as deep into this stretch as you can. This is where we're going to start our stretch. All right. I mean, we've been stretching this whole time. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds here. Cool. 30, 29, 28, 27. If you can, do a little wiggle from side to side so you can get just a little bit deeper. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Try your best to walk your hands forward. Bring yourself out of that stretch. Pull your legs in underneath you. Go nice and slow. And that is our first round of side splits. In this kneeling position or seated position, whatever you're doing is comfortable for you, do a little wiggle, do a little shimmy, do a little shake. Relax those hip muscles. And when you can, come back into standing. What we're going to do next is shake out the tension in our legs. Right now, all these muscles have been super tense for a little bit. We're going to start stumbling around like a drunk penguin. And what we want is to shake out the tension so that we can get back to something normal, something comfortable. So what I want you to do is start by shaking out your ankles. All right? Let that ankle completely relax. Let it flop all over the place. Go crazy and shake. You don't have to start shaking super aggressively. You can start nice and gentle and see what's comfortable and slowly work your way from there. You don't have to lift that leg up either. I lifted over the chat in the comments so that you can see that the foot is just flopping all over the place because it is kind of important. But you can just leave it on the ground and go, okay? Whew. Other side. The reason why we're shaking out the ankles is because if you flex the foot, right, or you pointed the toe, or you did ankle circles, all these muscles in the foot, in the leg, have to work in order to get you into those crazy positions, right? When your ankles going into those crazy positions without you trying, the muscles have to be loose enough to let you get there, right? And that is what we want. We want them to be loose enough to let you do crazy things. And when your legs are feeling a little bit looser after shaking them out, do a little bit of movement, walk around, bend at the knees a little bit. See if you're feeling a little less like a drunk penguin and more like somebody in control of the legs. Cool? Next, we're going to move on into our hips. What I want you to do is put all your weight into one leg, big toe of the other leg down on the ground. I want you to internally rotate that leg, externally rotate that leg, internally rotate that leg, externally rotate that leg, in and out and in and out and in and out. Notice the rest of the body is basically not moving. The only thing that's moving is this thigh bone, where it connects into your hip. Those are the muscles we're trying to control in the front, in the back of that leg. And we're going in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. As you get more comfortable, as you get faster, as you get stronger, feel free to pick up the pace, pick up the intensity, turn into a dance move. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. All right, we're going to do the other side. All your weight is on one leg, big toe is down, rotating the in, rotating the out, and in, and 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 out. All right? As you get more comfortable with this, we'll add in different variations. We'll talk about that later. we're going to get into side split number 2. Let's go. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. That's 1 footstep for most people in front of the wall. Open up those legs nice and wide. If there is no pain in the hips, you are ready to continue. If your hips are hurting, put your legs together just a little bit until that pain is gone when you move, and we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. Stick your hands on the ground if you can. If you cannot, or if you just don't want to, feel free to elevate your hands with a stool, with some textbooks, with some yoga blocks, and a stool, if you'd like. It doesn't have to be any of these things. It could be a coffee table, but it will be easier if it's something small and lightweight that you can move, all right? So that you can adjust the position a little bit more easily. Cool? Now, once you're here, open up the legs a little bit wider, if you can, and then we're going to rotate the legs. We're going to rotate the legs so that your thigh bones do not smash into your hip bones and cause you pain that we were talking about just a second ago, right? And it looks like this. We're going boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Other side, boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are up, and we are in our side split position. Inhale, exhale, try to drop a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale, drop a little deeper. One more, inhale, exhale, drop a little bit deeper. You don't have to do this explosively. You're just letting gravity do its thing. You're just letting your muscles relax so you can drop into a deeper stretch. If you cannot get down there, that is okay. You're just taking what you can from the moment. All right? Now, we're going to lean a little to the right, push our leg out there. Lean a little to the left, push our leg out a little bit more. Right and left. And see if we can get a little bit more depth in our stretch. From here, bring that stool back with you, or whatever you're holding on to, and try to bring your hands to your hips. All right. If you're already deep on the ground, just bring your hips towards, or hands towards your hips. All right. Rest your butt against the wall and hang out for a little bit. Breathe. Inhale. If your knees are pointing up and the top of your head is pointing up, you're in your side split. So just try your best to chill. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Relax the toes. Relax the feet. Relax the hamstrings, calves, quads, glutes, low back. Sink a little bit deep. All right. We're going to do the next stretch a little bit differently than the first one. What we're going to do is, instead of resting our butts on the wall, we're going to walk our hands forward just a little bit. All right, so that our hands are underneath our shoulders. We look like we're about to do a push-up, we're about to do a plank, except our legs are real wide. When you've walked your hands forward, your knees, instead of pointing straight up, they should be pointing up at a diagonal, all right, towards the front. Maybe at like a 45-ish degree. That'd be great, all right? Why we're doing this is because it's going to help us focus on the inner thigh muscles. We need to stretch out both the inner thigh and the hamstrings a bit to get into a deep side split, all right? We're rotating forward, we're feeling it in the inner thigh, and that's enough explanation. So 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27. See if you can do another little wiggle to get a little bit more depth. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep breathing, don't hold your breath, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Slowly pull your legs in underneath you. This might take a little bit of time. Go nice and slow. And whew, that is our second side split. All right. Breathe, chill, relax for a hot second. And while you're chilling, make sure to hit follow and make sure to subscribe, all right? Because we do this every day, and I need your support. Next, we're going to come up into standing, and we're going to shake out our legs. Do a little dance, do a little wiggle, and let's go. Shake out the ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. All right. Other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. If you're just joining in, you're like, what the heck is going on with this ankle? This is all about relaxing. We're just in a side split. It was really intense. All my muscles are tense. Now we want them to relax as much as possible. If your ankle is just flying all over the place and going crazy right now, that's a good sign that all the muscles that help move your ankle are relaxed enough to let your ankle go all these crazy places. And that is what we want, relaxation. All right. Next, once your legs are feeling a little bit better, let's move on into the hips. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down in the other. We're rotating the knee in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Again, it's just the thigh bone where it connects to the hip that is moving. All right. Everything else is basically still. Aside from the momentum you're throwing into that leg and the rest of your body shifting tiny, 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 tiny little bit. All right. When you have tried this a little bit, you got a little bit more control, a little bit more satisfaction, you're feeling real good in this movement, we're going to add a little bit of something to make it a little bit more fun. All right. You have already practiced bringing the leg in this way. You've already practiced pushing the leg out that way. I want you to stick your leg out way over there. I want you to bend this knee slightly. I want you to pull that leg in into that bent inwards direction. And I want you to open it up, and I want you to push that leg out. And then in, and then out, and then in, and then out, and then in, and then out, and then in, and then out. Work that hip mobility, make it graceful, give it some control, give it some grace, turn it into a dance move. If you just want to do some stanky leg, that's cool too. Whoa, yeah, pull that leg in. All right, other side. All you raise one leg, big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Go a little faster, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Stanky leg, woo! Stank your leg. And of course, we can push back out and take that movement we've been practicing, make it a little bit more controlled, make it a little bit more fun, make it a little bit more graceful. If that's not your cup of tea, that's fine. You don't have to work on that. You can focus on our basics. Cool? Once your legs are a little looser, a little bit more shaked out, you're ready to move on into side split number 3. Let's go. Stand is 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up those legs nice and wide. Breathe. And make sure your hips are not hurting, because once you know that's not hurting, we're ready to fold. Bring the belly button down. Put your hands down if you can. If you don't want to, or you can't, feel free to elevate your hands with something like a stool. All right. Open up the legs a little bit wider. Then we're rotating to make sure the thigh bones don't smash into your hips. And that rotation looks like this. We're going from knees kind of pointing forward towards you guys to boom, knees pointing up, toes pointing up, heels down. Now, we're going to drop a little deeper into our stretch, all right? Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little bit deeper. Do a little lean to the right. Little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left, and whew, that is our stretch. If you got something that you're resting your hands on, like a stool, feel free to bring that stool right up to your hips so that your wrists are right by your hips, and see if you can drop just a little bit deeper. All right. If you're already close enough to the ground where your hands reach, feel free to not use the stool. Walk your hands towards your hips. Cool. If your knees are pointing up and your head is also pointing up, the top of your head is pointing up, you're in a side split. So start relaxing those muscles. Relax the feet, relax the calves, hamstrings, glutes, low back. Inhale, exhale. Sink a little bit deeper. All right. Now, we are on our third and final side split. You got options. You can do the first version that we did today, where you're sitting up straight. You're feeling it more in your hamstrings. And you can do the second option. You can do the version where we walk our hands forward a little bit and we're feeling it more in our inner thighs. And there is a third and final option. We're going to sit our butts down. We're going to focus on folding into a deeper pancake. All right, it's not necessarily a side split, but it is super helpful for your side split, the pancake stretch. With your legs wide, you're basically trying to bring your whole entire upper body in between the legs. We did a standing pancake before. Now this is a seated pancake. And if you're ready, go for it. If you're not, feel free to stick with one of the other two that we just did. All right. Let's give you 3 more seconds to get into position. And we're going to go for 30 seconds. All right. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, 0. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, keep breathing, don't hold your breath, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh man, that is our stretch. I am struggling to get out of it. Whew. That's side split number 3, or pancake number 2, I guess. Let's bring our legs together and pull ourselves out of that stretch. Haven't said it today, but I am a big supporter of grunting, groaning, and making as many sound effects as you need to, because it feels good to be grunting. All right. So when you're ready, grunt, groan, come on up into standing, and let's shake out our legs one last time. Whew. Shake, 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 shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake some more. At this point, you've done a whole bunch of ankle shaking. All right. I want you to know that this is all about relaxation. And shaking out your ankle is just one way to start focusing on it, because you can see your ankle flopping all over the place, and it's easier to sort of fine tune and control from this standing position. That does not mean that is the only way to shake out your body. All right. If you can take this muscle that you've been using, these muscles, excuse me, that you've been using to rotate your leg in and out, and you can start doing that with your legs off the ground, and you can start relaxing your ankle, and you can start flopping everything all over the place, that is perfect. You're doing a whole bunch of relaxation all at the same time. That does not mean all of you are going to be ready for it right away. Some of you, you're going to feel like throwing your leg around like this is really painful for your knee. All right? If you find that that's the case, dial it back. Make it a smaller movement, make it less intense. See what you can do to help with your relaxation. If you don't want to experiment at all, you can just stick with the ankle shake. All right. Next, I can't remember if we shake the other ankle. I'm just going to shake this one real quick because, yeah, I'm feeling fine. Next, we're going to move on into the hips. All right. All right, raising one leg, big toe on the other leg is down. We're bringing the knee in and out and in and out. This is our basic movement. All right. It'll always be good. It'll always be right to do a little bit of these. If you're ready to take this up to the next level, because you built some control, you built up some speed, what we're going to try is, again, putting all of our weight into this standing leg. We're going to extend this leg out to the side, and we're going to use the muscles that we've been practicing with. We're going to shake out our leg so fast, so hard, this thigh is going to look like it's made of jello. It's going to start flopping everywhere. All right? That's what we want. There's almost no weight on this leg. You can lift it up at any time. And because there's no weight, you're not using any of the muscles in your thigh to support yourself. And that will make it easier for you to shake and flop and make that leg go crazy. All right? We're going to do the same on the other side. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down. We're shaking the leg in and out and 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 in and out, and in and out until that thigh is just flopping around going crazy. Cool? Whew. That is our workout. Let's do a couple of joint checks just to make sure everything is moving well and okay, and then we'll be done. All right, let's go. We're gonna do some hip circles. Take it nice and slow. Push those hips forward, over to the right. Come on back. Woo-hoo-hoo. Slowly work your way through the left and come back center. Whew. After the side splits, I tend to feel a really tense stretch right here in the left and the right side of the hip. Switch, go the other way. And so if you need to give yourself a little bit of time, hang out in those positions. Feel free to take it right now. And that is 2 rotations. Next, stick your knees up into the air as high as you can. And once you've tested, your legs went up, we're ready to move on. Nothing fancy here. All right. Next, we're going to do some calf raises that require all of our lower body muscles working together. And we're going to do these calf raises from a squat position. I want you to keep your feet pretty much underneath your hips, all right? Not too wide, not too narrow, just underneath your hips. I want you to pop into a bit of a squat, all right? When you are here, I want you to fold your chest down to your thighs, and I want you to push your knees forward almost a little bit past your toes, all right? When you're here in this position, you're going to want to feel like that you're falling forward almost. And we want this. We want this because it's going to get your toes to kick in, gripping the floor. It's going to get the arch of your foot supporting so that your foot is staying real strong on the ground, trying to clamp you down and keep you from toppling over. All right? When you're doing this, make sure once again to push the knee forward so you're feeling that nice Achilles tendon and calf stretch. You can poke them to double check that they're working real hard right now. And your quads will probably be telling you, hey, are we done yet? We're almost. Put your hands down for a little bit of support. Work on bringing those calves up or bring those heels up into that calf raise. If you can do this without your hands, feel free to skip the hands. Do a couple of these. Come on up, come on down, come on up, come on down. And if you're able to pull those out, chances are you're able to get your toes working real well with the arch of your foot, with your Achilles tendon, with your calves, with your knees and ankles and quads and hips and glutes and low back. And you're probably pretty good for doing whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits and hip mobility with me today. I hope you had fun. I hope you're not starting to cool off. I hope you feel like a badass because it's not easy to train for the side splits and you just stuck it out for like an hour and 7 minutes. So that is our show. I have a couple minutes of shameless self-promotion I'd love for you to hear. This is not the only content that I make. I do this live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. On the weekends, there's also the 9 a.m. Eastern live. That means there's 9 shows every single week. You don't have to come to all of them. In fact, I don't recommend that you come to all of them, but I do want you to try your best because what we care about most is practicing consistency. This show is designed so that you should be able to recover from it pretty normally. If you only come 3-4 times a week, you'll definitely be able to recover from it. And that's designed very intentionally so that it's easier for you to practice consistency. If this was a crazy workout, it was an insane, vicious workout every time, you'd probably do one time, you'd be so sore you don't want to move again, and then you'll never come back, right? The show is designed with less intensity for you to build a little bit of consistency, all right? We do this to try and make the stretching, the suffering, that we do a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so it's easier to stay consistent with. So, if you don't care about the side splits, you don't care about hip mobility, none of this is that important to you, there's still consistency, all right? My goal here is to give you some principles to help you build whatever it is that you want to build, to take that consistency from your physical experience here, building some mobility, and applying it to your own regular life. I have wanted to do the side splits for like 15 years, and pretty much every single year, 2 times a year, right around January 1st and right around like middle of the year, around my birthday-ish, I go, oh, I'm definitely going to get the side splits this year. I start for 2 weeks. I do like 3 hours of YouTube research. I keep on rewatching the same crazy videos. And I'm like, this is the best plan. This guy, I'm going to follow it. These are all the exercises. I do it like one time. I'm super sore. And then I probably don't do very much again for another 6 months. Right? If that story sounds familiar to you in something that you've been trying to do, maybe you lasted a whole week, not just one workout, then know that I completely understand. This show is designed specifically to counter that behavior. We're not doing one crazy workout that leaves us sore and completely defeated. We're not spending a whole bunch of time trying to find the best, the most perfect workout, because at the end of the day, the thing that matters most is consistency and showing up and doing the work. If you have perfect consistency, you can show up exactly as you need to get the max workout results from your best workout. Great. Awesome. You don't need to be here. But if you know that it's hard for you to stay consistent, you need a little bit of help, you need a little bit of support. That's what this show is all about. And I care about consistency so much, I don't even care if you do the side splits workout with us. If you're trying to, I don't know, learn something else, if you're trying to get a certification for work or something, and you need to sit down and do that work, and you just need some background noise, a whole bunch of other people being silly at 9 p.m. trying to stay consistent, doing a couple of exercises, you want to just have that as background noise, I'm 100% here to support you. All right, that's what consistency is about. It's not about coming in with 100% every day. It's about coming in, giving what you can, putting in the work, and making sure that it becomes a part of who you are and what you do. All right, that was a really long impromptu ramble, a little bit different from my normal outro. And why is any of that relevant? Well, some of the other content I make is related to trying to integrate and build into your life little tiny bits of mobility, little tiny bits of fitness. If you're waiting for your coffee to come out of the machine or boil in the mocha pot or finish in the French press, you got a couple of minutes. Those are awesome moments for you to do little basic exercises like the hip cars that we opened with. It's going to help you move a little smoother. It's going to help you feel a little bit better. And it's going to remind you that a tiny bit of movement goes a long way. And plus, there's another benefit. Your joints don't have blood vessels in them, all right? If they did, every time you took a jump, they would explode and your knees would be a bloody mess. That's not what happens, and that's not how those work. But your blood vessels is basically how the rest of your body gets nutrients, how the rest of your body gets cleaned, and everything gets sorted and repaired. Your joints don't have that feature because if they did, again, you'd be a bloody mess. But they do have synovial fluid. The only way for synovial fluid to move around, to nurture your joints, to take care of you, is through movement. So if you can add in a little bit of gentle movement, even if it's easy, even if it's not going to build any muscle or whatever other excuse that you can think of, is going to help your joints repair, recover, and feel good. All right? That, in general, is the lesson. So if you hit follow, if you hit subscribe, those types of videos where we do fun, tiny mini workouts, a couple squats, a couple lunges, a couple stretches here and there, that's what's probably going to show up on your feed. All right? I am also making content about calisthenics. I'm trying to rebuild my own strength alongside the cool skill of side splits, and I have a couple of quick tutorials out for 3 moves that look cool because I care about calisthenics because it looks cool. It looks like a badass thing, right? Frog stand, crow pose, and elbow lever. Those are the 3 moves that I have tutorials out for. I'd love it if you went and checked them out. And I'm going to do a quick demo of what those moves look like so you know what to expect, all right? The frog stand has us in sort of this deep squat position with our legs out to this side. You don't have to be this low to the ground to start. You can totally be like right here. As long as you can get your elbows into sort of that soft spot between your calf and your thigh, you can stick your fingers up into the air, spread your fingers, stick them down on the ground. You can get into a basic frog pose. Frog stand, excuse me. From the side, it looks a little bit like this, all right? And because your forearm bone, this one right here, is going straight up, basically, you're basically just trying to learn how to balance your weight. It's like a seesaw, all right? And that means you get to use a little less muscle and a little bit more skill, which means very trainable. Put down a cushion for your face. Make sure you don't, fall forward. That might hurt. And give that a try. I promise it's a lot easier than it looks. When you've mastered the frog stand, we got the big brother. It's called the crow pose. What makes this different is we're sticking our knee, the flattest, smoothest part of our knee, onto our tricep. I like to recommend that you start right here at the edge, basically your elbow. All right? And what we are doing is we're basically making a nice, strong, straight line between our wrist all the way to our hips. All right? And when we do that, it turns it from a strength exercise back into stacking bones on top of each other. So you got that nice straight line up into the air, and you're figuring out how to balance once again. Right? This version, because you're sticking your knees on your triceps, your butt is going to be way higher, and this gets you much closer to a handstand. So you're really learning a lot about balancing on your hands, getting comfortable. And you can transition that skill into actual handstands, right? Oh, nobody saw that. I got scared. I was going to hit the stools. I already moved them out the way, and then I was like, oh no, I'm going to fall on them. But everything was good. Everything turned out fine. That is the frog stand and the crow pose, and your ability to slowly transition into other cool skills. All right. We got one last move. It's actually my favorite of the bunch. It's called the elbow lever. It looks the coolest. It is the best move to break out at parties, and it looks a little bit like this. You're doing a whole plank on your elbows, and you just hold that body straight. Or I guess if you're strong enough, you can do whatever you want. You can do a little dance, bring some froggy swimming positions, and chill. That is the elbow lever. For the most part, you're starting and you're just figuring out how to balance your body weight right on your elbows. And if you can kind of do something like this, you're pretty much really good with the body part. Is just trying to figure it out on the elbows, right? And It's a lot easier than it looks. If you've done some planks, you can hold a plank for like 50 seconds, a minute. You've done those types of workouts. Chances are that is something very, very almost close to doable. All right, maybe it won't last very long. Maybe you'll get 2 seconds, but that's 2 awesome seconds. All right, so that is our show. That is my shameless self promotion. Shreth sending awesome emojis. I love it. And says thank you. And I hope you had fun. Kim says thank you. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna start scrolling through the chat, and I'm gonna respond to the messages. If you have questions, comments, feel free to throw them in there. If you check out those videos over on YouTube, those tutorials for the calisthenics moves, feel free to come back anytime in the future. Ask questions in this live about any of those moves. And if I have tips for you, if I have answers, I will answer them live, and I'll work on them, and I'll demonstrate live with you. All right. Otherwise, you can also just ask questions in the comments of the video. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/@splits on the side. So the username is the same between Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Cool? All right. Comments time. Let's do this. Good vibes forever says audio is good. Eduardo says good evening, friends. Queen RR says good evening to everybody. Lovely, lovely. I sneezed and I got a bless you. I got 2 bless yous. Thank you, thank you. Eduardo with some thumbs ups. And Samsung TV. Hey, welcome back, Samsung. Says hi. Hello, hello. All right. What else we got over on TikTok? Che is celebrating with some, I don't know, those confetti cones. Are those called confetti? Tyler asks, how long did it take you to learn how to do the splits? I still don't have the side splits. I'm still working on them. My deepest position looks kind of like the side splits from the angle that the camera is positioned at, but my legs are not against the wall, right? Like the side splits would be pretty close to me being like flat on the ground like this. I would probably be a little bit deeper than this. And when we're seated in this position, it might look like I have the side splits, but I don't quite have them just yet. I still got a couple of inches to go before my legs go all the way up against the wall, and that will be a full side split. I'm not there yet. But I have been doing some version of this show for like 500 days. And I will tell you right now that if your goal is to get the side splits as fast as possible, and you can stay consistent with harder, more intense workouts, this probably isn't going to be the fastest way for you to get your side splits. But if you are the type of person who has tried this a bunch of times and has not stayed consistent, and you keep on struggling to stay consistent because after like a week you drop off and you don't make any progress, like I did for like 15 years, then this might be the fastest way for you to make progress because you'll actually show up and do the work, right? That's that's entirely dependent on how you do your training. If you've built the consistency, you can do whatever you want. If you have not yet built the consistency, that's what this live is about. We talk about it in the form of side splits and hip cars and hip mobility, but the goal is to help you build the consistency to show up and do the thing that you want to be doing. If you don't want to be doing the side splits in like a month, but you've built the consistency, you got a huge, huge advantage on anybody else, right? Because you started, you stuck with it, and now it's become just that thing that you do every day. And it becomes a part of your identity. It becomes like, oh yeah, I got this thing every day at 9 p.m. And as you get more comfortable with that, everything will start becoming a little bit easier to stay consistent with. And that's basically what I found being very consistent with this show. So hopefully that helps answer your question. I'm not there yet. I've been doing some version of this live for like 500 days. The first couple 100 days probably was designed just to like go through the motions so that I can build up reps and keep myself accountable. And then probably the next 400 days after that, I started getting more and more serious, and I started focusing more on side splits. And at some point, we turned it into multiple reps of the side splits, and the show has slowly evolved over time. Yeah. All right. What else we got? What else we got? I'm gonna scroll backwards and see what is in the chat in reverse order from when it came in. So the newer messages I'm going to see first, because it seems like There might be a little bit more. Queen Manchankura sends a whole bunch of smileys. Chirath says, thank you, Ken. You're very welcome, Chirath. Thank you for being here, hanging out, showing up live every day. Appreciate it. Gina has followed the live creator. Great. Che is sending some cool messages. Awesome. Kilmar says, thanks, Ken. And Tepero says, I'm cute. Thank you. Angelina, sending some crying emojis. Lovely. Crying, smiling emojis. What else we got? 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 Happy Saturday. All right. Oh, it's pretty quiet. Cool. All right. That is our life. Alex says, hi, I'm new here. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Alec. Of course you are. Alec is one of the oldest, longest running people on the live. So he's just playing with you guys emotionally. Is there anything else? I've been doing this live for a long time. And sometimes I hesitate to talk about the speed at which I'm making progress in the side splits. And the truth is, this is not the fastest way to do it. The fastest way to do it would probably be with having really good consistency and doing some slightly harder variations of the exercises that we are doing. But when I started this live, I knew that I had tried that stuff before, and I did not keep consistent with it if I wasn't turning it into something that I did every single day. I believe at this point I could probably be very consistent with a side split workout, and I could probably make progress a lot faster if I changed the workout to something else. But what I think is more important than the side split, which might be the reason that you're here for the side split content, for the hip mobility content, is showing up consistently. And that is the skill that I value over all the other things. Like even if the side splits come a little bit closer, I don't know how many other people can say, hey, I've done this workout 500 times. Or I don't know how many other people can say, hey, I have this hobby that I've done every single day for 500 days, right? I think I've spent the time to develop the skill, to develop the way I think about consistency, and I can go apply that to other things. And that is the core message that I'm trying to share out here with the world. The exercising is awesome. You seeing the results of you showing up consistently is amazing. I think that's the best way to learn how to be consistent. The value of exercise is when you see your body physically changing, when you're able to do more stuff, right? But at the end of the day, this show, and I say it a lot, is all about helping you to recognize how important and how powerful consistency is. Help you to build that consistency because you keep on proving to yourself every single day, or at least a couple times a week, that you're the type of person who keeps on showing up and who keeps on doing the work. And that ultimately is what's important. Once you have consistency, you can commit to something and you can crush whatever it is that you want to be doing. Who cares how long it took to develop that skill? Because you can develop any other skill that you want. All right. That is the spiel. Alex says, I'm not old. I'm only 30, he says. That's not how I meant it. That's not how I meant it. I meant it that you have been hanging out on the live since the olden days, since many moons ago. And I'm glad that you're here and letting us know about being 30. Alex says, what do you do to target forearms, Ken? I don't do anything to target forearms. I told you, I don't do any training outside of our side splits and whatever I have to do to make YouTube videos and TikTok and Instagram videos. But I don't do any exercises that specifically target the forearm muscles. So maybe a portion of this is genetic, but in the past couple of months, I've done a whole bunch of muscle ups. I've done a whole bunch of pull ups. I've done a bunch of weighted pull ups, and those indirectly, require some forearm training. When you are working on your handstands, for example, there is a little bit of forearm stability and training necessary for that. And Where's the stool? There it is. Okay. It's a lot in your wrists as well. So it kind of comes and goes as I train. I don't try to go out of my way to target any specific muscles because I don't personally care that much more about uh, being super muscular or anything like that. Because I just don't. That's not a reason for you to not care or for me to, I'm not disparaging people who care about their appearance. This is very normal. It's cool. Um, but I don't think about it from a bodybuilding perspective. I think about it from, hey, can I go do cool stuff now? Or what cool thing do I want to be able to do? And whatever happens to the muscles happens. I like being able to jump around and climb things and sprint and stuff. I like to be able to crawl around and entertain my nieces and my nephews and be super hyperactive on the ground. I'm also in my 30s. Um, and so I think that's probably where I get most of my exercise these days. Just doing crazy things, entertaining children. Um, yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question. Alex says, I could see you winning a rock climbing event. I wish I was that good at rock climbing. I could maybe win a rock climbing event for people who have only been rock climbing for like 2 weeks. That's probably about it. Um, but I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Okay, I think we are almost 87 minutes deep into the live. I'm gonna take one last look at the comments and I'm gonna get ready to wrap up for today because we got another live in very soon. The math is hard. 20, no, not, what am I talking about? In 10 and a half hours? Something like that? So, one last look, one last scroll through, and we will be ready to wrap. I think that is everything. Chareth says, I appreciate you showing up for us and you. I appreciate you guys for being here too. That's what it's all about. Helping to spread the consistency and make it a little bit easier, right? It is so hard to do something for the first time, to start it and then keep doing that thing, even though you're sacrificing maybe time with friends, maybe you're sacrificing time with family, for something that maybe you don't even think is that cool. Something that you're embarrassed about, maybe something that you're I don't know, you think somebody else will judge you for, right? That is very common. That happens all the time. Being embarrassed is a huge reason people don't stay consistent. Somebody's like, "Oh, hey, do you want to hang out?" And you're like, "Oh, I could go exercise, but I don't even want to tell you that I'm going to go exercise. So yeah, I'll hang out." And then you're all embarrassed about the thing that you're trying to do that is important to you, but nobody else knows about. Maybe other people don't even care about, and it throws you off. You don't make progress in your thing, and a couple months goes by, a year goes by, and you haven't made any progress in the thing that you said you wanted to do, right? That happens all the time, and that is what I'm trying to, make this show for. It's cool that we're doing hip mobility. It's cool that we're doing side splits. It's cool that we're making progress physically and learning some cool skills. But the foundational thing that I care about is really the consistency. The physical stuff is just a way to apply it that is fun, that looks cool, that makes everything a little bit more interesting. Obviously, I make fitness content on TikTok, Instagram, and all those things, right? And that's because I'm trying to make that build out because it happens to work really well with the live. But if I had my way, I would want to run like a really cool after school program where kids learned about taking care of their health, maybe learned how to cook, how to have really strong skills at being empathetic, understanding, communicating with each other, and teach the value of consistency and showing up and building skills. Because I think that's all there is. That's the meaning of life. Keep on trying cool things until you run out of time. Anyways, that is my philosophical ramble. I'm ready to wrap for the day. I will see you guys in 10.5 hours, I guess. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow or tonight. Or no, yeah, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow. Bye bye. Closing out. Hit follow, hit subscribe. All those cool things.